Hello, welcome to week 3. So, this week is going to be a really big week because we're going to be starting to use sources and find sources to help fill out and support our argument. This is really important since all the other writing we're going to be doing in college is going to need to use information from sources that we find to help support and develop our argument. And so that if we learn how to do this skill, it's going to help us not only in these next couple weeks on the course, but in other classes as well. So I want to talk a little bit about back in my day versus now to help you sort of see the issues that you're going to be facing in terms of finding reliable sources. So when I was an undergraduate and I was doing research papers, we still had those little Dewey Decimal pull cards. So if you wanted to find a book, you would go to the card file and you look at the books and you'd go walk and find the book. I remember at the time where my college was sort of converting over to like using computers, but for the most part it was like the card catalog system still. Also too, the journal articles, if you wanted to find a journal article, they would actually have rows and rows and rows of journals. And then you can look through those journals and try to find the articles that you would like. Nowadays, that's all in these databases that we're going to be using in the Post library, which is totally different. So the reason I bring this up is not as a woe is me, but when I was finding sources undergraduate, it was a painstaking process. And so I remember looking at journal articles where you'd find a journal that you liked, and then just kind of skimming through months and months and months looking at, are any of these articles relevant to what I want to talk about in my paper? Nowadays, we have these databases where you can find thousands of journal articles within seconds. So the issue that you're going to have with this paper and all the other papers that come after it are finding too many sources. And that's going to be the main issue, I believe, for you, where you find too many sources and it's hard to figure out how to filter them. And so finding the proper search words will help you kind of refine and find the sources that are going to be applicable to yours. So it's not going to be a scavenger hunt that I had when I was going through the rows and stacks of the library. It's going to be the sort of avalanche of sources coming at you through your computer. Another thing I wanted to mention is about where you're looking. If you just go to Google and type in whatever it is you're looking for, you're going to be inundated with all the same, a lot of different sources as well. But the other issue is going to be now I'm worried about the reliability because there's things like Wikipedia, Shmoop, GradeSaver, and I don't know where any of these people are getting their information from or if that information is accurate. And so that is another issue in terms of when we're talking about finding reliable sources. So when you're thinking of the word reliable, think of things that you can trust, that you can rely on to be informationally accurate. And so if we're looking at the sources, like I said, you're going to have waves and waves of sources coming at you. So not only are you going to have to figure out how to filter out the ones that are applicable to what you're writing about, but also that you're going to have to figure out which ones are reliable or not. And so throughout these next couple weeks, that's the skill that we're going to be trying to hone and refine, is basically those two of discerning what's reliable or not, and also how do I filter through all this noise, so to speak. All right, so if you have any trouble getting into the Post library, let me know. That is a good place to start. Like I said, if you just go straight to Google, I think you're going to be finding a lot of sources that the reliability of them is going to be totally up for grabs, and you're not going to know if they're reliable or not for the most part unless you're looking at the things like who wrote it, when they wrote it, for what purpose, things like that. And so if you're not using a library, I think it might be a lot more work in some cases. So that's just something to think about. But yeah, if you have any trouble with the library, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to just kind of go on the assumption that you can get into it. Using it is a different story, though, and we can be talking about that not only through any sort of discussions we have, but via email too if you'd like, or via phone. All right, well, have a great week, and I'm excited to start these next couple weeks because, like I said, this is a great transferable skill you can apply to any discipline. All right, take care. Bye.